Hey Dalton.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, how about you? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
All right, what's up? How are you today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, it's
Whereabouts are you? You're in California?
yeah, I'm in Irvine, California. So it's a little
Cool.
bit uh more towards the sea of LA.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you in
It's a little
Vancouver
bit.
right
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver, yeah.
now? Nice. Okay, so I guess for this format, I was just gonna have you guys uh say a little bit about yourself and the most recent album just to kind of give listeners a preview. And then I gathered up some questions from other people at the studio and a bunch of people I know that are fans of you guys, and um,
Cool.
so I kind of crowdsourced a little bit,
Right
and then
on.
I'm just
Sweet.
gonna kind of chat about whatever.
Yeah, right on, man. Whatever you want to do. I'm down.
Yeah, sweet. So I guess I'll start for the listeners. Peach Pit are a band from Vancouver, Canada, formed in. There's a 2016 that you guys officially started.
Yeah, something like that. 2015, 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, 2015. I wonder if that's where the song came from.
Yeah, it did.
That's awesome. I love that
Yeah.
song, by the way.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
and they just released this new album, Magpie, that I've been absolutely in love with.
Oh,
Um,
thanks, Dalton.
and yeah, so if there's anything else you want to say about you guys before we start on the
No,
question.
that's correct information. You've nailed it.
Awesome. I had the privilege to, and this is kind of what gave me the idea, is I was at your San Diego show. Um,
Nice. At the ballpark there?
yeah,
That was sick. That was so cool.
it was absolutely electric. And I had heard fables of the Peach Pit live show and how they sound even better somehow live, and the energy is just
Oh,
always
thank
there.
you.
Um, and you guys picked a fantastic opener as well. I don't know how, or the not just the opener, but also Briston. So I guess I was gonna lead with that is how you guys got connected and for this tour.
Yeah, with yeah, so we it was a fun tour, so it was cool. It was like they call it a co-headline tour. So you pick
Yeah.
two artists that are of similar size and you put them in rooms that are too big for either of them to play by themselves. So it was it was pretty cool for both of us because we got to play a lot of venues that were like kind of bucket list venues for us. We got to
Mhm.
play Red Rocks in Colorado, which was like pretty insane, and even yeah, the Padres Stadium in San Diego was really cool. It
Yeah.
wasn't the stadium though; it was the outside of the stadium,
Yeah.
um, which was sweet. Yeah, and so originally Briston and us we met at a show that we played. It was a bill that was Briston, us, and the Backseat Lovers. That was in
Oh, great.
yeah, in Denver in like 2021 or 22, something like that. Um, and Briston, I kind of knew a little bit because I knew some of his music. I was a fan of his songs,
Yeah.
and Briston recorded his I think maybe his first or second album with this guy John Congleton, who we recorded one of our records with, and he's a really good friend of ours. And so we'd heard about Kristen from John and yada yada yada. Anyway, long story
Yeah.
short, we just met him at this show and we hit it off really well with Kristen. He's just like a really really nice guy. He's super down to earth dude, really funny. Yeah, just a great guy. And so we hit it off with Kristen. And when we met him, we were like, damn, we should really go on tour together. Kind of not thinking that we would, just because he's like, he's doing really well and
Hmm.
we usually go on tour with bands that maybe are like on the come up kind of thing who maybe would open for us. So there's not a lot of opportunity for us to go out with bands like Briston. Um, but yeah, then it kind of worked out that we
So
did
that's where
this
the
co-headline
co-headline
thing.
idea
Yeah,
came
yeah. So
from.
it was really cool. It was just based on us liking Briston. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's sick. You guys definitely matched each other's vibe. I really liked the energy like through and through the whole show.
Yeah,
Um,
he's crazy. He's insane. Like his live
yeah.
show is so fucking good. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. I guess I shouldn't curse on here.
It's
Yeah.
okay. That's part of why we pre-record is so we can just speak freely and then
Okay.
like
I'll
edit
try not to
it.
curse so you don't have to delete anything. Yeah. No. His live show is so good, and yeah, his whole band and his like the stage setup that they had was pretty wild. Um, and like yeah, just playing after. Briston and his band every night was like we got used to it, but like at first it was really like terrifying, honestly,
Yeah.
just because he would go out there and he would really crush it,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, damn, like I really hope we do well tonight, and I hope we don't bomb after that. And anyway, it was a good feeling to like go out after somebody that you're like really a fan of and impressed by and stuff because it
Mhm.
made us want to put on a better show. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah. You mentioned John Congleton. Is that where the Am I Your Girl Congleton version came from?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
sick.
John recorded that version when we did the You and Your Friends record with him. So we recorded that
Oh,
song.
wow.
We tried to record that song like maybe five different times for different albums, and we could never record it in a way that we liked until
Wow.
Magpie. We finally did a version that we thought was like good enough to put out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, yeah, damn, you know all the deep cuts, Dalton. How do you know about that? You checked
I'm
out
a
our new
longtime
deluxe? All right,
Peach Pit
thanks, man.
fan.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I was so excited when I heard you guys were finally touring for Magpie because I had missed the last one.
Nice,
Um,
awesome.
and it was just a fantastic time. You guys really bring it for the live show.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was wondering a little bit where you kind of got that passion for, because it seems like you guys all really have a lot of fun out there, and like Chris was doing all those guitar moves that I love, the back-to-back move you guys did, and just where did you get the inspiration for all those?
Um, Probably like School of Rock, maybe.
That's a great movie.
Uh, yeah, when we were kids, I would say, yeah, we were like maybe around 10 years old when School of Rock came out.
Yeah.
And like everybody our age when saw it in the theaters. And I remember seeing it for the first time and being like just so stoked on the idea of being in a rock band. And like
Yeah.
the end scene where they're on the stage and they play like the two songs at the Battle of the Bands, like just as a kid, got so fired up. Me and my buddies went to see it for like my their like 10th birthday party. And yeah, me and the boys always like kind of laugh about the fact that maybe like 50% of bands in our generation were inspired by School of Rock to be in a band in the first place. So
That's crazy.
uh, yeah, that's a kind of a funny influence, but it's definitely true.
Yeah, I had no idea of this phenomenon. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
it is a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I figured we could fold in one of the questions that was submitted, because we already talked about Am I Your Girl? I
Okay,
know
sure.
it was a little bit based on Call Me by Your Name, but we had a question from Jessica saying, I love your song Am I Your Girl, both the original and dance version. And I was wondering if you could ask what or who inspired that song. I've always just wondered what the meaning behind the song was whenever I listened to it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So basically the song is I write a lot of songs from somebody else's point of view. So I like, and it might not be a super apparent when you listen to them all the time, but
Hmm.
many of our songs I write from the perspective of maybe somebody that I'm thinking about from their voice, kind of like talking to me. So that's the case with Am I Your Girl? It's from the point of view of one of my ex-girlfriends from when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s. And I think maybe a lot of people, especially when they're kind of growing up and like becoming adults, and maybe if they have like a first love, they you
Hmm.
might know what this feels like. But for me, um, I fell in love when I was like in my early 20s with a girl,
Hmm.
and you know the relationship didn't last for very long, but it left a really um, significant like imprint on me where it stuck with me for a super long time as I was growing up. And I always found myself um, in and out of relationships in my 20s where when I was with somebody, if I met somebody new, I wouldn't really think about her anymore. I would be in a new relationship, focused on a new person, maybe pretty happy with where I was. But inevitably, when you know in your 20s, maybe the relationship doesn't last again, and you break up. And I would always find myself coming back to thinking about her, and that went
Hmm.
on for me for a really long time. Yeah, probably for about 10 years, which is kind of embarrassing. And so I kind of wrote the song from her, talking to me, and her it was almost like her as though she knows that I'm thinking about her again, that she's asking like, "Am I your girl?" one more time.
Wow.
Just even just up in my mind. So I wrote the song after I went and saw "Call Me by Your Name" in the movie theater. Um, I was on a date with a girl, and I think I found out halfway through the date that she actually had a boyfriend. It wasn't even a date in the first place. I was like, "Why are we here then?"
Awkward.
Um, but we didn't end the date. We finished our dinner and we went and saw "Call Me by Your Name."
Hmm.
And I think around this time, yeah, I was super, I was feeling very blue. And yeah, I remember the line in the movie. The girl kind of runs up to Elio, the main character, and she says, "Am I your girl?" In this sort of cute way. And I just thought I don't know, it just seemed like a good song title to me. So I wrote it down and then I wrote the song.
Yeah. Wow. That's an awesome story. It reminds me a little bit of Did You Love Somebody? I've heard you
Yeah,
talk about that song a little bit too.
yeah,
About like, thinking about past relationships and that
yeah,
whole
for
thing
sure.
of like what they meant to you. They still
Yeah,
mean something to you even in the new relationship. Um,
yeah, for sure. And just like, if you've been in love before, and then maybe you're in a new relationship with somebody that you really care about, and you're really happy. Um, I feel like a lot of the time there's some sort of like taboo about talking about who
mm,
you were with in the past and the relationships that you have in the past, or at least that's how I feel. Definitely makes me
I
feel
think that's
insecure
common
talk.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, makes me feel insecure talking about it, even though I might be curious or want to know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just more about your partner and kind of like what happened to them when they were younger, because just like you, they might have had the same sort of experiences.
Yeah. I really liked, and I think Sir Chloe is doing a tour right now or upcoming. How did you get connected to her for that expansion
Yeah,
pack version? That expansion
yeah,
pack version
yeah,
is fantastic.
yeah. Thanks, Dalton. Yeah, we first met Chloe in maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Um, I had a friend who put me onto Chloe's music, so I listened to um her first record, which has a lot of her like big hits on it, like
Mm.
Michelle and frick is the other song called that I really like. Anyway, I can't think about it right now, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um yeah, Chloe, we met her at a music festival in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands,
Oh,
and
wow.
I was just a fan. So when I saw that Chloe was there, I was excited to meet her because I've been listening to her music a bunch,
Yeah.
and yeah, she was super nice. Her band was really nice, and yeah, that was it. We just met the one time and didn't really chat again. And then a few years back, a few years later, rather,
Mm.
yeah, we ran into her at another music festival backstage, and we chatted with her, and yeah, she was super cool. And so I just decided to shoot my shot and ask her if she would do a feature on one of our songs.
Yeah.
It's pretty like it can be pretty nerve-wracking to ask other artists to do a feature, especially if like you don't know them super well. And I was just a fan of Chloe's.
Yeah.
Um, you, we have asked other people in the past, lots of other
Okay.
people to do songs with us, and we've been rejected lots of times. So
No way.
it's almost like asking a girl out. It's like pretty scary.
Yeah.
Um, so I emailed Chloe, explained to her the meaning of the song, and that I thought it would be really cool if she would
Mm.
write and sing a verse on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, she didn't get back to me for like about a week and a half, and I was like, oh, damn it, like
Another rejection.
yeah, another rejection. Anyway, eventually, yeah, she hit me back and she said she'd be down, and yeah, she killed it. I like love the verse that she wrote for it, and I just yeah, she's really a very talented songwriter and just an amazing singer. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a really big fan. I've been I want to be like better friends with her. Like I really think she's super cool, and like it's fun to talk
Yeah.
about songs and stuff with somebody else. And so I feel like I've always I've been trying to text her to try to become friends with her, but
Yeah.
we're not buddies yet, but I would like to be buddies.
Yeah. I would love to see you guys at the same festival or the same show. That would be incredible. That would
Yeah,
really
I
be.
have
You guys are both from Canada, right?
No, I think Chloe is from New York. I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, she's American.
So
Yeah.
at least northern.
Yeah, she's close to the border.
Okay, there we go. I actually had one question about Canada.
Okay,
Um,
go for it.
this is from Ezekiel. I was wondering how Peach Pit got into surf rock despite being from Canada. As a big fan of both surfing and of Peach Pit, I've always wondered.
Hmm. Interesting. I don't know. I wouldn't say yeah, I guess we have some surf rocky songs for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just something that we listened to when we were younger. Maybe we listened to some bands that had like a surf rock sound, maybe Chris and Peter more so than me, so I actually can't really speak to that. But you know what? There's
Hmm.
lots of surfing. There's surfing up in Canada. Where we live in Vancouver, there's you can go if you head straight west from where we live and
Hmm.
out towards the Pacific Ocean. There's a humongous island just off the coast called Vancouver Island. It's like really, really big island.
Hmm.
And on the west coast of that island, there's a place called Tofino that's like a world class surfing destination. It's a famous surfing spot. So,
Really?
yeah, there's lots of surfing. Yeah, there's surfing on the west coast. I've been a handful of times. I'm really, really bad, but
Oh,
yeah,
you've tried it.
it's fun. Yeah. I every time I get the chance to go surfing, I usually take it, and then I just end up spending like hours out there just trying to catch one wave, and then like maybe 50% of the time I might get one wave, and then it's kind of worth it because it's so fun. But yeah,
Hmm. Is that, I could just be spitballing here, but is that near Granville?
so
'Cause I know that's also
Granville,
by the ocean,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah. So Granville is a street. It's a street in Vancouver, and
Okay.
I used to live just off of Granville Street. It's kind
Okay.
of like it's a famous street in the city because part of the like about 10 blocks of it is downtown Vancouver, and it's like the club strip. It's where all the nightclubs and the bars are.
Hmm.
The kind of crappy nightclubs. Um, that like you would go to. Everybody goes there for the first time when they turn 19 and they can go drinking and stuff. So yeah, Granville's just a street in Vancouver.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering a little bit how you think, because we like to talk about, being a local college radio station, how like the region down here has influenced local artists. Like, I don't know if you've heard of Greer, but they're also like a pop rock band that's kind of up and coming,
Sweet.
and they're from Orange County, and you can definitely hear like some of the beachy vibes kind of sinking into their music or something like that. I was wondering how Canada maybe, or Vancouver specifically, or places like Granville you've spoken about, have influenced your songwriting and your music?
Hmm. Well, I would say one thing about the city that was really cool when we were in high school, there was a new radio station that was like the kind of indie alternative radio station, and we hadn't really
Yeah.
had um, something like that in the city, to my knowledge, at least. So when I was a teenager, yeah, it was called The Peak, and it was cool. They still do this kind of, but it was more prevalent back in the day where they would have all these local bands on the radio station. So
Hmm.
there were bands like a band called Said the Whale. They were big in Vancouver. Another band called We Are the City that was really big. Another guy called Dan Mangan. And so
Hmm.
for me, there were these bands that were kind of just local bands at the time. They were playing shows in Vancouver. They weren't doing big world tours or anything.
Hmm.
But to me and my friends, they were like famous bands because they were on the radio here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So it was really cool because it was like Vancouver's songwriters and bands were kind of getting this like big reach within the city that was really influencing people. And I think that was um, a big way that the city kind of influenced me and kind of gave me some inspiration to become a songwriter in the first place.
Hmm.
Um, was that radio station when I was a kid, and they even had this. They used to have this like battle of the bands competition
Oh, that's
every
awesome.
single year. And yeah, when I was in high school, I
What's
applied
so
for
school
it
about it?
I applied for it every single year with my band. I never got in. Um,
No way.
well, I was a kid, like, at the time I was so oh man, I was so bummed. Every year they'd announce the 10 bands that got into the program. You could
Hmm.
win like $100,000. You get played on the radio station.
Jeez.
And every year I was just, oh man, I was just so heartbroken. And sometimes I would know maybe a band that got in, and I was just so jealous. I just wanted to be in the battle of the bands. But in hindsight, I completely agree with them that they didn't choose me. So
Oh man. I thought I really liked the story you told in San Diego about how you kind of met Chris and then you guys were was it the same festival and you kind of crossed paths a few times and then
yeah,
finally
yeah,
decided just one day let's try this. I wanted to hear where Mikey and Peter kind of factored into that equation. How did you like were you already friends with them also or did they kind of
yeah.
in with Chris or
So yeah, so Peter and Chris, they've been friends since they were about 5 years old. They went to preschool together. They basically went to school all the way through. Um, and I knew Peter a little bit as well because Chris and I kind of knew each other, whatever, whatever.
yeah.
And the first time that Chris and I ever were to have our band practice, it was going to be our first time we were going to meet up. We are going to work on a song that I'd written. Um, we had this big plan. You know, I was really nervous asking Chris if he even wanted to do this in the first place. He agreed with me. I was so
Hmm.
excited. And I got in the car and I drove across town over to where Chris lived with his mom and dad. And
Yeah.
I got there and Peter was over at
Oh.
Chris's house. And in my head, I was like, damn, like he's not even taking this seriously. Like he's just inviting anybody to come to our super exclusive band practice. Like, this is too bad. Um, and then we hung out. We went down to Chris's room, and he had his guitar amp down there. I brought my guitar with me, and so
Sick.
I was playing guitar. Chris had a guitar, and Peter was also a guitar player. But we
Really?
were like, yeah, Peter's a guitar player,
Oh wow.
and this is how a lot of bass players become bass players. Is that we had a bass
Too
there, and
many
we were like,
guitars.
oh, yeah, too many guitars. So we were like, okay, well, Peter, why don't you hop on the bass? And then yeah, he's been the bass player ever since.
Yeah, well, he killed it at the concerts. I
Yeah,
would never have guessed that he
yeah. Well,
started.
he's a. The funny thing about it is that if you write the songs, even if you're not uh, as good of a guitar player as the bass player, you get to play guitar. So Peter's a way better guitar player than me. He's like way, way better, but he gets stuck on the
Wow.
bass.
Wow.
And then Mikey, yeah, Mikey, we met through a buddy of ours when we were already a band for about maybe 6 or 8 months. Our other friend Tom, he was our drummer,
Hmm.
and we he left the band. We were like, buddy, you're not taking this seriously enough. Okay, man, we're going to be huge. I
Yeah.
know we don't make any money right now and nobody comes to our shows, but I can tell you, man, you got to take this
Just
seriously.
wait. Just stick it up.
Just wait, man. So he left the band and we knew Mike through a buddy of ours. We actually used to go see Mike's band play. Mikey played in a band
Oh, wow.
called the R&B Conspiracy. And
That's a great name.
it was an R&B cover band made up of about I think there was 8 players in the band.
Oh, wow.
There was Mikey who was about 20, and then the next youngest person was probably 45 maybe. So it was just like our buddy Mike, and then all these like 45 to like 75-year olds who were like in this R&B band, and
That's crazy.
they would play at a few different pubs around town, maybe like once a month. They'd have maybe 2 gigs a month, and all our friends would go and see Mike play, and then just like a bunch of middle-aged couples would go out on date night. So we'd be getting hammered, and all these like swing dancing couples would be like out on the dance floor listening to R&B Conspiracy. So we knew Mikey, and he's a really awesome drummer. He's like one of the best around. At the time, he was definitely yeah, he was up there. Now he is the best.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we asked Mike to be in the band, and he was in like 5 bands at the time. So over the
Jeez.
next year, we slowly got him to um, quit all the other bands and just be in Peach Pit.
You claimed him.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I think I had a question sort of topical to that. I want to get it right. I have it somewhere here. Let's see. Okay, so on the songwriting process, um, this question is from Jin. Who comes up with the ideas? Is it music first, then lyrics? And where do you get your inspiration?
So when I write songs, Usually write some guitar chords first. That'll be kind of like the first thing that I'll do. And then all the while I have like my notepad in my phone,
Yeah.
and I just like write song ideas down. So like I'll have like a topic that I want to write a song about, or maybe a song title. A lot of the times it could just be something that I hear, like I was talking about in Call Me by Your Name. It was a line from a movie.
Hmm.
It could be just something somebody says to me that I never heard kind of phrased that way that I'll write down.
Hmm.
Um, and then a lot of those ideas just don't ever, I don't write anything about them. Um, and then yeah, they'll just kind of like die in there. But if it's a good idea and it really sticks with me, then I'll write some guitar chords, kind of come up with some sort of a little bit of melody, kind of just like freestyle a little bit over top of some chords until I feel like have a lyric that kind of inspires me to be like, okay, this is a song. I've got something here that I can build off of. And
Yeah.
then
Starting point.
yeah, and then it's just a lot like kind of putting together a puzzle. You start out with the first line of the first verse, and then I just slowly build it up from there. Just keep adding lines until I have a verse. Um, and then I got to come up with the chorus, and that's pretty much how I do it all the time. Sometimes it is super fast. Sometimes I can write a song in like a day or two,
Oh
and
wow.
then other times it takes me, a few months to write a song. Usually the ones that take a few months are not very good, and usually the ones that are take a day or two are the good ones. Just generally, I don't know why. Yeah,
It's like the muse just gives you the songs right away.
yeah,
These ones.
definitely.
That's great. And then I assume Chris writes his own solos.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. So the rest of the like we everyone in the band, I'll write a song. This is how it works out like 90% of the time. I'll write a song.
Yeah.
I show the guys, I'll send them a demo, or I just play it for them in at our rehearsal space. And then we just kind of like workshop the song. Everyone kind of comes up with ideas.
Hmm.
Chris will write his own guitar parts, and Peter and Mike, and we all kind of just try to figure out how we can make the song into a Peach Pit song, because I usually just
Yeah.
write it on acoustic guitar first, and then yeah, and then when we're in the studio, same thing. We all like work together to make the song into what it is. Sometimes Peter will write a song, and then maybe I'll write words and melody to it.
Hmm.
Or same with Mikey or Chris as well. Chris, on our new record, Saint Mark's, uh, "Funny Feeling" is one of our songs, and yeah, Chris wrote a song with the whole, like, if you listen to it, there's like kind of four parts to it that have like these
Yeah.
key changes in between. They keep changing keys,
Yeah.
and he had a different melody and some different words over this demo, and then I rewrote the melody and the words for it. So and then but the rest of the song Chris wrote.
Oh
So
wow.
that's like a lot of our songs, or like Lookout was another song that Chris wrote. He wrote this verse for a song, and then I wrote a couple more verses for it, and I wrote a chorus for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's you do most of the songwriting, but it is still very back and forth, even with the
Yeah,
lyrics.
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And yeah, basically if anybody writes a good song, they can put it on our record. We don't care who writes it. It just has to be one that we like. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, are there any standouts that were written by Peter or Mikey? Just to shout them out?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, so like "Am I Your Girl?" That was a song that Peter wrote. He wrote the progression for that. He wrote he made the
Oh
bass
wow.
of the song, and then I wrote the melody and lyrics over top of it.
Hmm.
Trying to think of one that Mikey wrote.
Yeah.
Mikey's more written like parts of songs, and like, or like a funny one is in uh in our song "Lookout," Mikey, there's a guitar solo at the end of it that Mikey's playing the guitar solo, not Chris, because
Oh no way.
Mike's also a really awesome guitar player. Yeah,
Dang. Wow, he's got it all with the
yeah,
20 bands, the
yeah, yeah. He's a really good musician.
that's fantastic. Yeah, that was one thing I really enjoyed about your live shows. Is it seems like you guys all really had your chops as far as like the solos that were going out and um
Yeah,
I
well, you saw us by the time we had done about 50 shows already that year, or
so it's
this
all
year.
ironed out.
So we were well rehearsed. If you saw us back in February when we were doing our Canadian tour, I think it was good too, but it might have been a little bit sloppier for sure.
Yeah. That's interesting. I did want to ask about your live shows. How do you choose your set list?
The set list is kind of tricky, actually. It's kind of like a bit of a balancing act of trying to put songs in that we know people want to hear because,
Hmm.
especially with Spotify nowadays, we can just instantly we know what our most popular songs are.
Mm,
So we really try to like put a large amount of kind of like throwback songs from Being So Normal, from You and Your Friends, from our EP songs that people, have, just over the years we know that they like them. And
yeah,
then trying to put in some new songs because for us, you know, um, it's after, doing so many tours and playing so many shows over the years, the old stuff is still nice to play live for people. We like it and we try to like switch things up, maybe new arrangements and stuff to make it more exciting, but it does get
yeah.
like a little bit boring. And it's just so thrilling to play new material. But if nobody wants to hear your new material, then you got to throw in the old songs. So we kind of try to find a good balance of making the set flow so that it doesn't get too boring for people.
Mhm.
We know that a lot of people, for example, Magpie, it's not our most popular record, so we're not trying to shove it down people's throats. We're trying to give people, a wide variety of our tunes, and so it can be pretty challenging. Actually, we have lots of different opinions in the band about which songs we consider good or which songs we think we should or shouldn't play. So it takes us a couple of weeks to figure out the set, and then throughout the year we change it as it goes because we will play it live and maybe 2 or 3 nights in a row we'll feel kind of like a dead spot in the set where it just feels like the energy kind of leaves the room a bit. We'll
Okay.
take the song out, we'll put something else in there.
Okay. So it's a little bit
Yeah.
trial and error too.
Trial and error, yeah. So by the time you saw our set in San Diego, we'd been playing it for a long time. So we probably had figured out kind of the kinks of it by then.
Yeah. That really surprises me that the numbers are down for Magpie. That's probably my favorite album of your guys's. I
Thanks,
was
Dalton. I
hoping I could
appreciate
hear
that.
St. Mark's at the San Diego show. I was
Oh man, yeah. Yeah,
surprised.
thank you. That's definitely one of my favorite songs for sure. I really really love that song. So yeah, it is what it is. They're not every record you make is going to be a banger, and I love it. I'm really proud of that album. I think there's a lot of really great songs on there, and I'm not trying to say that nobody likes it. I definitely feel like a lot
Of
of our
course.
fans really really like some of the songs on it and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, my next we're gonna try to write and record another album at the end of 2026 is kind of like our
Okay.
our rough deadline for when we're gonna get back in the studio in like about a year and a half.
Hmm.
And my number one goal is to be able to have a few songs on it that really hit hard live because it is so much fun playing them for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I would wonder if a little aspect because I'm a folk music fan, so I think that's where
Yeah,
Magpie resonated with me. But
totally. Yeah,
I'm
I think
wondering if
I
maybe
think
like
so.
it was since that can be lower energy, maybe it didn't translate
Yeah,
as to the live show.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think also just the way our directions have kind of changed over the years. I think if people came on board early on when they first heard Being So Normal or something, they weren't quite used to us with this sort of like maybe some folkier or country kind of aspects to some of our music. And
Yeah.
so maybe that kind of throws people off a little bit. Whereas, for us, that's just like the music that we're into now. So we've kind of just
Yeah.
like shifted that way. We're not going to stay in any one direction forever. We like to always kind of be changing and just to keep it interesting for people and also just interesting for ourselves. We try not to make the same record twice. So I don't know what the next one will be like.
Yeah, for sure. I really especially like the parts where I hope you bring Dougal along again because the parts where he's playing the
Yeah,
violin
of
like a
course. I
fiddle,
know.
where
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dougal is amazing. I love Dougal.
yeah.
He's the best. It's been so fun. He's been with us now for quite a long time. It's crazy. He's been playing with us for almost 5 years, which is wild. And yeah, everybody loves Dougal. We get so many comments on our Instagram and YouTube. Just everybody loves seeing Dougal up there, so it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that bit in Private Presley just breaks my heart every time.
Yeah, it's
But
awesome.
I also wanted to ask, I know since you've been playing the set list a lot, so what's like everyone's favorite song to play been so far? Because I remember you guys did a TikTok or something, and people were kind of asking like, "Oh, what's been your favorite song lately?" And um, one of my close friends favorite song is Your Teeth by a lot. And the other band members, they said they weren't quite a fan of that one anymore. I was like surprised. So I wonder how like which ones you started liking and how that evolved to like, oh, we're a little bit sick of this one and how that affects
Hmm.
what you play at live shows.
Yeah, so I think maybe with regard to that one, they were more saying they weren't liking playing it live, and that's because nobody listens to that song except for your friend. Um, we all really like that song. I that's one of my favorites of our songs.
Yeah.
And it's if we're going purely based off of streaming numbers, it is the worst streamed song we've ever made. So
No way.
I love it. I'm a big fan of that tune. But yeah, as I was saying before, we try to keep like a good balance of songs that we want to play with also songs that people
Mm,
want to hear. And honestly, we played Your Teeth one tour and we tried to do it for the
just
whole
didn't
tour, but
work.
it was just bombing every single night. Like
That's so
just
sad.
everyone, so many people in the audience were just kind of like sad, just kind of slouched there, which is fair. I don't need everybody. It's not a dancey number, so it
Mhm.
just. I think people were saying they didn't like playing it live, but yeah, yeah. Sometimes just songs. It's weird. You write a song. Every time I write a song, as I'm writing it, I like the song. I think it's a good
Yeah.
song. I'm stoked on it. I'm excited about it. Then once the song's done, once it's recorded with the full band, I can totally do a 180 on it, and I just don't love it anymore. For whatever reason, it could be the production on it. It could be that looking back, I think my lyrics are cliche or
Mm,
something's corny about it. Or it just doesn't feel like it really came from like a true, honest perspective or place or something. So I can kind of see through it really easily.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, some songs are like that. Some songs you just end up kind of hating when you're done, and then other songs kind of stand the test of time for you. Like Tommy's Party. I wrote it so long
Mm,
ago now, almost 10 years ago. Most songs that I wrote 10 years ago, I don't really like identify that much with anymore. And so
mm,
they're not my favorite, but I still love that song. That's one of those ones that every
yeah.
time I play it, I still am proud of writing it. I'm still proud of the words that are in it. And yeah, I don't, that's rare. That's rare for sure.
Yeah. That's probably my favorite one. I only have the free version of Zoom because I'm a poor college student, so we only have 2 minutes left.
No
But
worries.
I did want to wrap in. A question we usually ask is, um, are there any movies, songs, comics, shows? What good stuff can you put us on that's either been inspiring you or just something you really
Cool.
like lately?
Okay, so right now, I'll just tell you a couple of the songs that I have on repeat right now, because I usually have like maybe one or two songs that I just get super stuck on and I just have to keep listening to them over and over.
Me too, yeah.
So right now, I really love California by Joni Mitchell. That's like my favorite song right now. I
Love
keep
Joni
listening
Mitchell.
to it. It's just a classic song. I've listened to it for years, but for some reason I'm back on it. Um,
Yeah,
I went and saw Paul Simon when he was in Vancouver a couple weeks
that's
ago, and so
incredible.
I've been listening to lots of Paul Simon, especially Graceland. That's my favorite Paul Simon album, and that's my favorite Paul Simon song. So I've been listening to Graceland a lot.
Wow.
Um, I just went and saw Together the other night with my fiance,
Hmm.
and it's a movie that just came out with Dave Franco and Alison Brie. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a
No, I'll have to check
it's
it out.
a it's a it's a horror comedy, body horror movie. It kind of it's actually there's a little bit of controversy around it right now because allegedly they saw the script written by somebody else or a similar one 5 years ago or something, and they ripped them off. I
Okay.
don't know if it's true or not. I that's just the controversy. Um, the movie's pretty darn good though. It's
Yeah.
really really pretty spooky and really funny. There's a lot of really funny parts in it, so I would definitely recommend people go check that out. It was just like a fun movie theater watch, a couple
Yeah.
jump scares in there where people were screaming, and then lots of good laughs. Um, as far as other inspirations, oh, I'll show you one more thing that I'm liking right now. I
Yeah.
actually haven't been reading it too much, but there's this book that I bought. It's called "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff," and it's all
Okay.
small stuff, and it's got like 100 or so little passages in it. Um, and it's kind of like a meditation book, so you can read a little passage, and the concept of the book is just that nothing in life really matters, actually.
All
Okay,
right,
we're back. We're back. We'll take it from the top.
we're back.
Okay, so yes, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff is a book that I've been kind of, dabbling with over the last year or so. And yeah, it's just all about things that you can do to help you worry less about things and care less about um, things outside of your control. So, 13, become more patient. So it just got a little passage about how to be a more patient person.
Yeah,
So it's a really good book. I would recommend it. It's definitely helping me feel less anxious, which is cool.
yeah, that's always a win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, if you did have a couple more minutes, I could
Yeah,
rapid fire
sure.
throw you the rest of the Q&A.
Totally. Let's do it. Let's do it for
Okay.
the people.
Yeah. So from Brandon, what's your pedal board looking like right now, and what are some must-have tones or pedals for your live gigs?
Oh, damn.
Also
This
some
is
other
such a,
gear. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, you finished the question there.
Oh,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Such as guitars and amps used.
Okay, this is such a bad question for me, unfortunately. I'm not a gear guy. I'm like the least gear dude ever. Like every single piece of gear that I have, pretty much across the board, was bought for me by Chris. He's like, Chris is the gear guy in our, well, actually,
He knows this
Chris,
stuff.
Peter, and Mikey and Dougal all love gear. So they tell me what to do. Um,
Bless you.
sorry about that. Speaking of guitars, though, at the San Diego show, I don't know if you remember, but
Oh, yeah.
it was pretty sweet. I was on stage and we have our guitar tech Sam. He's stands on stage right, and he hands me guitars. We switch out guitars about every other song, and he hands me a guitar that looks just like the guitar that I have. It's a Dan Electro,
Hmm.
um, old 1950s Dan Electro guitar. It's a black and white guitar. He hands
That's
me the
sick.
guitar. I start playing a song, and I look to my right at Sam, and on my right is Sam and Chris and Mikey, and they're playing, and I look over there, and they're all kind of laughing and looking at me like with this weird look on their face, and I'm just like, "What are you guys doing?" I think to myself, I'm like, I have something on my face, my fly's down, I'm so confused, and I just keep playing the song, and all the while we're playing, I'm just thinking to myself, like, what are they talking about? Like, I don't even know what's going on right now.
Yeah.
We start playing the next song, and I look over at Mike, and Mike's pointing down. He's like pointing at my guitar, and I'm like, "What?" And I look, and I realize that it's not my guitar. It's a very similar guitar to mine. It looks almost identical, but it's a
Oh.
Jerry Jones Dan Electro. And Chris got onto these guitars maybe 2 years ago. Another buddy of his plays them, and they're just these really amazing Dan Electro replicas that were made by this guy called Jerry Jones. They don't make them anymore. They're kind of very, very sought after because they're just beautifully built guitars. Dan
Yeah.
Electro is a pretty famous guitar company, despite the fact that they kind of aren't the best guitars. They're not super well built. The body's made out of like particle board. And
Okay.
anyway, so the guys, long story short, they surprised me on stage with this Jerry Jones Dan Electro. It was a, I'm getting married at the end of the summer, so it was a wedding gift.
Oh, congrats.
And thank you, thank you. So that would be my recommendation as far as gear goes. People should look up on Reverb Jerry Jones. They just got tons of different Dan Electro um, remakes, and they're really all awesome.
Sick. Yeah, I'll forward that to my buddy. We had one more from Ava. What are your thoughts on the music industry, especially your genre in particular, as far as tangible music versus streaming, and what you think the future of music will look like in the industry?
Hmm, good question. Um, well, I mean, I think as far as like streaming and um, kind of the future of pop music and rock music, I we're probably going to see a lot more AI stuff happening.
Hmm.
Um, there's just, I mean, no way around it. There's going to be songs that AIs write that people find super catchy.
Hmm.
Um, but I think one thing that we have going for us is that you can't, maybe you can, but I think one thing that's cool about music is that the best thing about it is like the human connection part of it and going to see a band play live. I know for myself
Yeah.
that even if I'm not a fan of a band, a lot of the time, if I go to a concert with somebody that takes me there, they're a fan or something, that I'll always leave the concert being a fan of the music because seeing
Yeah.
somebody perform it live is so different than listening to, it's so easy to put on your headphones, throw on a song and go, this is crap. I don't want to listen to this. But when you see the
Yeah.
person who wrote it playing it up there on stage and performing it, it's just like some sort of easier way to connect about it. And
Yeah,
so
it's
I
so
think
human, right? Like
it's very
you can think of
human.
like
And
thousands of years ago, we're like singing songs around a campfire. Like that's where it's at. You can't AI that.
exactly. So I think that's one cool thing about music and art is the human aspect of it. So I think my prediction is that there will be tons of AI songs that are bangers, but people are going to go see concerts of real people.
Yeah. Well, it's great for you guys because you guys kill it at the concerts.
Maybe that's just me like self-soothing and saying that, don't worry, Neil, you'll be able to pay your rent in 10 years.
Yeah. And I think it's encouraging too that there's a little bit of like friction and pushback between artists and streaming services these days. I know speaking of Joni Mitchell, she pulled her stuff off Spotify with Neil
Yeah.
Young a little bit for
Yeah.
protests and another group we interviewed called Shoo Shoo pulled their stuff off for a
Oh
little bit
yeah.
of protest. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of interesting too. Maybe we'll get some more artist first streaming services as well.
Yeah,
I know
totally.
Spotify has been rumored to, like you said, be promoting AI artists that even they've made in-house, which is
That's
interesting.
what they say. Yeah.
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 So I had, I think, one more from this list of questions um, before we wrap it up. Okay. This one is also from Jin. Who is most likely to
Jin,
survive
our
in a
number
zombie
one fan.
apocalypse?
Okay, sorry, what was it? It was most likely
It's a silly one. Which one of you guys is most likely to survive in a zombie apocalypse?
definitely Peter. I would say Peter. Yeah, Pete is like maybe Pete or I want to say, well, okay, so the reason I'll say Pete is he is very good at everything that he does. He's like a carpenter, he can
Oh,
build
wow.
stuff. He's very self-sufficient. I'm not really that way. Chris kind of is to some extent. Like he's like handy. He can build things a little bit. Mikey also is very talented in that way, but he likes the pleasures and the simple things in life, kind of like me. He
Yeah, I
can't
feel that.
I don't know how he would survive the apocalypse without, his chicken nuggies. And I think I'm the same
For
way,
real.
man. I'm not built for roughing it in Zombieland. So
Yeah.
I'd say
Um,
probably me and Mike, we're gonna die first, and then Chris, and then Peter. Peter will survive.
I think that's a fantastic note to wrap it up on. Is there anything else you wanted to throw out there or I
Nope,
know you
no,
guys aren't
nothing
working on
else.
your new
But
album for a bit, but yeah.
yeah, we're trying to write it already, but we haven't. We don't have too many songs yet. But yeah, working on a new record. We have a tour in the US in the fall, for a month starting September 13th, I think, is the first show, or 12th.
It's
We're
pretty
doing kind of
soon.
like a Eastern, yeah, United States, kind of down to Florida and stuff. Yeah, other than that, nothing else to plug. So yeah, thank you, Dalton. I appreciate it.